Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Lisa Kessler with Kessler Insurance, and I'm really happy to be working on Cheers for Charity New Hampshire with my dear friend Joanne Burchuk. Hi, Joanne.
Hey, Lisa, good to see you. Yes, I'm Joanne Burchuk, and I'm with Lighthouse Physical Therapy, and it is my pleasure today to introduce Denise, who is with Step Up Parents. And Denise, please introduce yourself and tell us what your organization does.
Okay, thanks, Joanne and Lisa, for this opportunity. So I'm a founder of Step Up Parents. Our mission is we offer financial assistance to grandparents and any relatives or kinship caregivers who have stepped up to raise children whose biological parents suffer from substance use disorder. It's kind of a narrow focus, but in New Hampshire, it's really a need. The inspiration came from a close personal friend that's living this life. She's raising her granddaughter. She has an adult daughter who suffers from addiction. And I was just very inspired by what their everyday life was like and realized they are not alone. And the sort of common piece that a lot of these families that I spoke with talked about was the financial stress of all of this, because nobody plans to raise a second family, and in some cases, third family. And a lot of these folks are later in life, the end of income, close to retirement. Many are disabled. So it's quite a daily challenge for them, to say the least. So we organized and we started in 2019. We, to date, have helped over 70 families in the state. We're based in Portsmouth, and we, thought we would start in the Seacoast, but because we partner with social workers, DCYF from across the state, our name kind of spread very quickly. We soon, after we started, we got applications from all over the state. So that was pretty awesome and pretty daunting. But so families can come to us in different ways. We work with schools. We work with, like I said, social workers, Families First, Waypoint, CASA, DCYF, health centers, Seacoast Mental Health, just any of those type of organizations can be a validator. And all that means is that a family that is in their, one of their cases can apply through the caseworker, and it's just a simpler process just to minimize paperwork and to keep it simple. Or families can come to us directly through our website, or if they've gathered one of our brochures, either from their town welfare office, because we've reached out to all the local welfare offices as well. And we really just help them with whatever they need. It's on average, I would say our average give is about $350. We can go up to $500, and we can exceed that with the vote of our board. But another great thing with all of this is we've collaborated with different women aid chapters in the state. When a request has come in that's too large for us, and they've been great about partnering. So we're small and private, we're all volunteer, but something we realized early on was very important was the timeliness of getting back to these people. If it's car repair and you have no car and the kids have to get to wherever, you need that car fixed now. So we review and turn around applications in less than 48 hours, and we've made payment. And we don't give money to families directly. We pay vendors and service providers on their behalf. And so again, it can be music lessons, summer camp, legal bills, clothing. Clothing's a big request. A lot of these families get a child in and they're not prepared for it, so they need everything, especially if it's a baby. So we've had a lot of those requests. Our furniture, we've had a lot of requests for beds. So we, like I said, we turn it around quickly, and our whole sort of guiding principle is that these caretakers are everyday heroes. And so our tagline is even heroes need a hand, because studies show that children do much better if they're in the care of a relative. They have better mental and behavioral outcomes. And it also reduces the trauma and the impact of past ACEs, the early childhood experiences. which, you know, a parent's substance abuse is a very common, you know, experience that will really mar a child. So supporting their efforts to keep these kids with a relative, we think is just a wonderful investment for these kids, for these families. So anything that we can do, we do. We also support groups. We've given materials and paid for guest speakers for kinship caregiver support groups, and try to, you know, bolster whatever they're doing, the programming they're doing. And then in turn, we've gotten families, you know, from them. And so right now there's over 12,000 grandparents in our state raising grandchildren, and that's probably underestimated because a lot of these are not on formally recorded because they're just informal agreements or family arrangements. And sadly, the average age of these parents is, since the opioid crisis really hit, it was below 60. Now the average age is above 64. So they're older, and then some of the folks that are older tend to be more isolated and don't have access, you know, to services. And then add in COVID to all of this. You know, these people have challenging lives on a daily basis, and then to add that in on top of it, and now they have to become, you know, teachers and all the rest of it. It's just daunting. So. And we're 100%, we rely on donations. Like I said, we're all volunteer. And so we are, you know, always reaching out to corporations, organizations, Rotaries, chambers of commerce, anyone in the community to try to support what we're doing. And I think because our mission is very identifiable, it's really struck a chord with people. And I have to say, people have been extremely generous and supportive, thank God, because I think we've proven that there's a need, and we are servicing that need. So, and unfortunately, that need's not going away anytime soon. So I think that's it in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. When we first were introduced to your organization, earlier, I was just so stunned by the number of grandparents that are raising their grandkids, over 12,000 just in our state alone. Like, that's just such a huge number. And I guess it just, you know, really shows, you know, I mean, they keep talking about this opioid crisis, but really brings it together in a whole new light. And you guys just started this organization, you said last year? So it's only
in 2019. We organized in 2018, but really started operations in 2019. And at that time we thought, okay, I mean, my co-founder, Kathy Terry, and I thought, if we raise $10,000 and help, you know, a few families, won't that be great? And we raised just under $50,000 and helped 33 families in our first year. So that was like, wow, this is amazing. And like I said, we've already helped 37 families so far this year. And we believe once the extra unemployment benefits go away, we've been told by caseworkers to expect an uptick like in the fall as the socioeconomic impact of COVID really hits these families. And once they go back to school too, because that's the other thing, these a lot of families are not interacting right now with caseworkers or school personnel. You know, DCYF has seen a huge decrease in reporting because the kids are not at school with a teacher or a counselor to report things to. So we're bracing for many more applications in the next few months.
And do you guys typically have like you had mentioned you talk to different corporations and stuff to donate money. Do you generally do like a big fundraiser every year? I know you just started, so
right.
It may not be to the point where you've done
we
that
yet. We had a couple local fundraisers in our first year, and it to be honest, it was probably more about outreach. You know, as far as funding, they weren't great, but they were good. So we're kind of learning that. And this year we're supposed to have a big one at the end of the year, Spinning Generosity. They actually chose us to be part of that annual fundraiser. It's in December, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I hope it does in some way or form. You have any other questions?
So much to digest. You know, there's so much good information here, and it's such an important topic that doesn't get discussed enough, right? Like, you know, it's one of those things where you say it, and all of a sudden, I start thinking, and I have children that have been in the school systems, and there's been a few instances where I sort of wonder if some of those parents are really grandparents, right? Like, you know, I look around and think, well, they're kind of older, you know, and I think, you know, how often it happens, and now that I'm starting to think of, I think we all know people who are in this situation. We all know these people have, you know, they're there for their grandkids and they're stepping in ways that, as you said, they never planned for. And actually, we have a family friend who had to deal with that, and they're now raising their 3 granddaughters.
Yes.
Who, you know, they had no plans to do so, and unfortunately, their son has since passed. So they will definitely be raising these children throughout their, you know, they're not going back, right? You know.
Right.
And they were retired, and yes, but the supports are really important. They make a difference and they help. So we're really grateful for what you all do. If people want to learn more, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, we have a website, stepupparents.net. It's probably the best way. We have a Facebook page. We do Instagram, and like I said, we there's literature in probably most of the local schools and welfare offices, but probably online is the best way.
And one thing you mentioned, just going back to the donation size, so you had mentioned $500. Is that one time only, or is once a year, or, you know, how does that generally work if somebody has maybe some additional issues down the road?
Right.
Have they maxed out what is available to them?
So we do it once a year. Again, we're so new, so, you know, we have to try to be careful with our funding. And then, you know, because of COVID-19, our funding was affected like most nonprofits. But no, once a year. And so we've actually helped some families twice now. You know, one in particular, the grandmother took in 5 grandchildren. And so, you know, like with clothes, well, you know, you have 5 kids growing out of clothes all the time. So happy to help them again, and wish we could do more. But that's what we do for now.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and it's such a need, obviously, in the community, given the great number of parents that are being put into this position. So we're so grateful to know that, you know, there's this great organization that will help them out a little bit, and they must be very appreciative for all the help you guys provide for them.
They are, and that's the reward, you know, because something that could be, you know, really so small to you and I can just make all the difference because it came at the right time. It's when they needed it. And one of the best, I guess, rewards we got was the social worker said that because our process was so easy, and it was the first time the grandmother had asked for anything, but it was just easy. She got what she asked for, that it gave her the courage now to ask for more and to seek out more services and things that were available. So it's like, wow, that was, you can't ask for more than that. So that really touched us. And like I said, we try to make it simple and easy and just really honor what these people are doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, we're so grateful that you shared your story with us and told us more about that, and have given us the opportunity to hopefully get your story in front of more people. So thank you so much for your time today. It was really fascinating and really touching.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and anything to get our name out and to just, you know, continue our outreach. We're all about it. So thank you so much.
Great. It was nice. It was nice seeing you too. So take care.
All right. Thanks, Joanne. Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.